That was a little okay, no. Okay. I was thinking of keeping that in, but then you were like not moving at all. I was like, maybe I
I'm
will
just
keep this. And you were just
frozen.
like, hi, hey, hello, and welcome to Emerging, a podcast where I talk to both new and emerging artists from around the world of various different backgrounds so that we can talk about our shared experiences as artists in this world, both in the fine art and commercial world. We know it's sometimes very difficult to break in. So, this show is dedicated to all of the artists who are struggling, confused, and also just maybe just want a friend to talk to. So, this is the purpose of this podcast. My name is Arnold. I will be your host. I am a graphic designer, printmaker, and photographer. So I've invited a few of my friends to come on the show and talk about their experiences as artists. Some of them have just started in the art world. Some of them have been here for about 10 years or so and are still trying to figure out their place. So I hope that this will be a learning experience for you, for me, for my guests, and find a place to go from there. There is really no purpose to the show other than me wanting to talk to my friends. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce my first guest. She is one of my closest friends. Please welcome Erin Doescher.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me today. I'm super excited. Like you said, I missed you. We can always talk. We've been doing it for years, so I'm
Yeah,
really excited for this.
it's been a while. It's been
It's been a while.
yeah, and this time there's no alcohol involved.
It's so weird.
It's so weird. All
We'll be
right,
productive. Yeah.
we will be. Well, we'll see. Can you introduce yourself and what you do?
Yes. So, like I said, my name is Erin Doescher. I am a 22-year-old artist living in upstate New York. Me and Arnold both graduated from SUNY Plattsburgh up in the North Country of
Woo!
New York.
Yeah.
Woo, SUNY Plattsburgh.
Yeah.
Great school. Um, there, I just received my degree in fine arts. I got a Bachelor of Fine Arts in May. Crazy
Mhm.
time to graduate, but we did it, and it was a great journey. And some of the things that were similar in our journey that we did is we both, kind of were involved in a lot of leadership positions, and we were just always involved. I think that's how we became such friends, is we were always seeing each other at the same meetings and the same things, and we're like, okay,
It's
we got
Erin.
something going here.
Yeah.
And I really looked up to you too. I really did, and I don't even know if you will fully ever understand that. But especially after you graduated, I used to talk about it all the time. But yeah, you kind of paved the way for me in undergrad. Just kind of showing me so much at the school and introducing me to so many people. And then, like you said, so you were the vice president of the arts for our student association. And I was like, that's such a cool position. I really would like to be a part of it. And then, yeah, I ran, and you kind of led me through, showed me the ropes. And I'm still so grateful for that, because it was one of the best experiences I had at college. I don't know.
Erin, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so two things. One, we're only 5 minutes into the podcast, so please don't make me cry.
Okay.
Uh,
Too, and already too long.
no, you're fine. No. And two, this is an introduction of you, not how much you love me. I know you love
Okay.
me, and I mean, I'm glad that the world gets to know that too, because I am a great person. Um, but
But
no,
yes,
no, no.
I'll flip that
So
around a little.
what kind of art do you do? What kind of
Okay.
what kind of work do you make? I'm keeping
Yeah,
all
keep
of
me
this in, by
focused.
the way. I'm keeping all of this in.
Really?
Yeah.
My junior year, we kind of focused on what kind of work I wanted to make, and I was always making work about people, whether it
Hmm.
was my ceramics or whether it was my painting. But I was experimenting a lot, and I was kind of liking it, but I wasn't totally in love with what I was making. And I think that's a really relatable thing for a lot of college students, at least that I talk to. Just because you're constantly learning and trying new things and talking to people. So I was just like, okay, I know I want to make people. And it wasn't until the fall semester of my senior year, really, I think in ceramics, that
Hmm.
I pushed through the most, which influenced my painting too. was that I wanted to make happy work. I had a conversation with two professors, and they were like, when I was like, I really just want to make, stuff that brings people joy, stuff that isn't super serious. I still want to have, a background story to it, something from my
Mm-hmm.
life. Like if you see in some of my figures, whether it's like the poses they're in, or the interactions in the paintings, those are from photos that I've taken, or just kind of the way I watch people move in life. But these professors were like, when I think of you, I think of happy and I think of joy and fun. And I was trying to be a little too serious, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that they were just like, have fun with it. Have fun with it. Be a little bold, you're a little bold, be a little, out there. And I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. And so that's when I really focused in on color and form, especially in my paintings. Like, my paintings are pretty flat. They're mostly about like form, some pattern, little color and line. But really one colored forms, um, that remind me of people, and I call them my guys. So if you've ever been in the studio with me,
Mm-hmm.
everyone always, they're like, oh, you're little guys, and or I say my babies, just because they remind me of little people, and
Mm-hmm.
I just like to play with them, and I'll put them around the studio and I'll see how they are in little spaces, and just have fun with it. Like I kind of like my senior year, I was like just trying to have fun with it. And the biggest thing for me that changed was seeing other people really like it. That was kind of the first time, or seeing other people really like my work. Yeah, that senior year was the first time I really got that response from everyone. They were noticing, they knew it was mine. They were like, it feels like you, it looks like you, and I want one. And that's exciting, like I didn't have that too much in the first beginning of part of my undergrad experience, just because I was trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And once people started telling me, I want one, I want one, I was like, okay, now I know what I'm doing. I'm happy. It's making other people happy. We're rolling, we're going.
You said that you were trying to make a lot of serious work. Was that because,
Yeah.
you were in college and it felt like to be a fine art artist, you had to like make serious work, like you couldn't be kitschy or campy too
Yeah.
much?
Yeah, and I think when I say serious, it's not that I don't take my work seriously
Mm-hmm.
or what I do or the process. It's kind of more like the story behind it. Yeah, like you said, I think, we look at a lot of, especially contemporary work, very conceptual. A lot of people can often ask a lot of your work. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why do you do this? Where is this coming from in your life? Is this something from your past? Is this that? And which are all very valid questions, and they work very well for, some other people's work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think I was just trying to be, in a way, something I wasn't. And I was trying to get through, and I was trying to find that deep meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had another conversation with a student too, and they were like, you don't need it to be that deep. You can have that deep aspect of your life, maybe in your personal relationships and the conversations with your friends and everything like that. But it doesn't need to carry over in your art if you don't want it to.
Yeah, that's how I see my work as well. Because, uh, before I used to make like very particular projects, and I'm still very passionate about those particular projects which are like political and like have deeper history to it. But at the same time, I also like taking pictures of people just being people.
Yeah,
And I don't have to think 100 times about it because I'm automatically interested in it, and I don't have a reason why I'm interested in it. I mean, I don't have a very deep reason of why I'm interested in it, but it's what attracts me, and I can make pictures without overthinking it. And I feel like once you find the place where you are comfortable with who you are, the type of work you can do, like you said, knowing yourself, knowing what you want to make, and what makes you happy, that kind of just like leads further from there.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that sums up your early 20s really well too. Not even just as an artist, but as
Yeah.
anyone, what you want to do, who you are, who you want to surround
Hmm.
yourself with,
Yeah.
and I even think at the time, like, early on in college too, like I was having fun, but I was also going through a lot of stuff. I was going through a lot of personal changes. I was going through friend breakups. I was going through this and that, and I was feeling a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was, yeah, taking those feelings and trying to make something from them. But instead, I think I needed to make something that made me happy to
Mm-hmm.
help with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I I think I mean, another way that we were very parallel that we've also talked about in the past is about how our personal lives had shaped in that last year of college.
I think that that last year's school um, was, I don't know, yeah, so groundbreaking for me because that fall I was going through a lot, and we talked
Mhm,
about this. But I was dealing with, mental illness for the first time, and I was super anxious, and I was very overwhelmed, and I was very stressed. And we're the same with this, but we take on a lot,
mhm,
and took on a lot and tried to balance a lot going on in my personal life, relationships, friendships, stuff like that, school, and then our extracurriculars. And it was a lot. And I started
mhm.
to get really overwhelmed. And I found myself in a really not happy place, a really not good place. And I remember a lot of people in my life, a lot of my friends, waking me up about it. They were like, this is not you. You are, you're happy. You want to be with people. I wasn't wanting to be with people. I didn't want to
Mhm.
talk to people. Like, can
Yeah.
you imagine? But I was having a hard time, like talking with
Yeah.
people, talking to professors. And that's kind of when I cracked the code and broke down a lot and was like, okay, I really need to be loving who I am and what I'm making,
Mhm,
um and have people like it back. The other conversation I had with a professor this year, that was really helpful, was it was actually during quarantine, so even after the show, was again like the kind of work I make. And I was like, I really want to make work for other people, and in a sense of like, I really want people to respond to this work. I want it, them to want it as well. I want
mhm.
I want to do more public art in the future, that people can appreciate. And I know that's a big kind of conversation and debate. Like, oh, if you're an artist, the work should just be for you, and you shouldn't be making work for other people. You hear it every once in a while. It's not
Yeah.
the truth. Not written in stone anywhere, but you hear it all the time in, like, in artist lectures, whatever, like, make work for yourself. And it's like, well, I am making it for myself.
Mhm.
It's a, but at the same time, I'm happiest when I see other people enjoying it and I see other people using it. That's where I'm really happy.
You brought it up a little bit about, the hellscape that was 2020. Uh,
The
how
dumpster fire,
the dumpster fire, the
train wreck,
Satan's
what is that?
butthole. Um,
Oh
so
gosh.
how, because you had your major show that you were
Mm,
working on for almost a year. Hell,
yeah.
I mean, I know you were working on it you were working on it for longer than a year.
Yeah, I've been thinking
Um,
about it since,
think,
the day I got
yeah,
accepted, right?
right, yeah. So there you were in your last semester and your first big show,
Yeah,
and almost nobody could be there.
nobody could be there at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really tough. So, like you said, we worked all year for it, really mentally 4 years for it.
Mhm,
As soon as I was a freshman, we learned about this, and I, for 3 years, had gone to the shows prior to mine and watched the speeches, went to the reception, looked at the work, watched the process of them installing it
mhm.
with the museum. And it's a beautiful process, and you see the students grow so much. Even I saw you grow so much. And um, yeah, so we submitted our work March 23rd. And that I submitted it that night, got in my car. I had it packed pretty well because I have so much crap, and drove home for 4 weeks. And it was a very surreal process because we got word of the pandemic and everything closing about a week and a half before that.
Mhm.
um, and that was probably one of the worst days at school I'd ever experienced. We were all in the building. It was a big studio day. And um, we got the email and everyone kind of found out. And we all particularly went downstairs to the sculpture and ceramics rooms that are
Mhm.
connected. And all the seniors, we kind of just looked at each other and we just cried. like a lot of us, we just stood there and we cried because we were like, what's gonna happen? What do we do? All that work. And it was really tough, especially too. I think anyone who's in an art department can kind of understand how close that community is and what it's like being taken away from it. We were like a family. We lived in that
Yeah.
building, and a lot of
Slept
love
in
in
it too
there.
sometimes.
Yeah. But yeah, so submitted my work and then drove home for 4 weeks. And yeah, came home and it was really tough. I was really sad. I didn't know what to do. Nobody knew what was going on. No one
Mhm.
knew really what was happening with the show. The only words we were kind of getting was, "Hey, we still want to put it up. Um, don't think we'll be able to have a reception. Maybe in the fall, maybe in the end of the summer." So we were hopeful. We're like, "Okay, maybe we'll have that. That'd be great." Because it is a big accomplishment, and you do want to show it off to people, and you
Mhm.
do, want your friends, family, to come and see it. I didn't end up getting to see it until the last weekend it was up, the end of November. Just me and my parents,
Yeah.
and we drove up there, and again, really surreal. Went up, saw it for the first time, like everyone's work together, everyone's work
Mhm.
up and displayed, which is such a different experience than we see it all year in the studios. But once you
Yeah.
finally see everyone's work up, it's really great, and you're so proud of everyone. I was standing up there and just kind of like looking around at everyone's work up and my own work in the empty gallery, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like,
Yeah.
this was supposed to be our group show, and it still was, and I'm still so grateful that the museum was able to put it up, and worked with what they had.
Mhm.
But yeah, not getting that reception and kind of a lot of people seeing it because the museum was closed. They weren't really
Yeah.
accepting a lot of people in, obviously. Yeah, it was tough to, yeah, saw it and took it all down in the same day.
For me personally, like the biggest part of that experience was the day of the reception and seeing people interact with the work and the way that you've been talking about how you enjoy seeing people interact with your work. That's,
Yeah,
I feel like, that's one of the biggest things that you were robbed of, which
yeah,
is kind of sad.
abs- absolutely. Because in a way, it validates what you did and how
Mhm.
you feel about it. Not
Mhm.
totally. Again, like you have that balance of your opinions and others, but
Yeah.
again, for me, I was really looking forward to seeing a lot of other people look at the work and talk about it, total strangers. That's really what I was interested in, is just, watching people walk through that gallery all day, during a normal school day, it gets a lot of
Mhm.
traffic. Yeah, and seeing people talk about it and other professors, those opinions of people who aren't in the arts are really valuable. I
Mhm.
um really always appreciate those people, whether it was my friends who weren't in the arts or my family, maybe other professors or what, and who weren't in the arts. Because it's a really fresh eye, and it's a really kind of gut instinct and response that they have. I always love, some of my figures, my ceramic figures and stuff. People are like, what is that? Or what is it supposed to be? Or like, why did you make that?
Yeah.
Kind of questions that art people don't really ask because they get
Mhm.
it or they've been asked that. But I love those. And I'm like, well, why? They're like, well, it kind of looks like a person. I'm like, why does it look like a person? And I think that also comes from, um I enjoy working with children. This is kind of a little
Mhm.
tangent, but in the past I've taught art classes, and I've always worked with children. I've always babysat. And I always really love talking to them about the world and what they think and how they see it. I thought about kids a lot too during my senior year making this work. Just because I was like, yeah, I want to make something that's like, that makes the inner kid in me happy, or that can also speak to kids. If that's a kind of group population that I'm interested in and I find a lot of joy in, I want to make something they'll like too, that'll catch their eye and make them talk.
So what are you doing right now?
So right now, I'm back in Capital Region, New York. Um, Applying to a lot of jobs. I have another kind of part-time job I work, but most exciting, I just got into a ceramic studio. And after a really long wait, just because of the pandemic, it was really hard to kind of get into new studios, and especially this one. I work there about a couple days a week. I'll kind of take a day off of work, go after work, weekends, whatever. And that's also kind of been an interesting process, trying to learn how to balance, work jobs that I get paid for,
Mhm.
and your studio work. It's kind of a bigger, so it's a real thing, real
Mhm.
person thing. But right now, what I've been making there is functional work.
You have some to show
Yeah, I have
us?
some. I have a
Oh,
couple. I
yeah.
just I don't have a ton right now. But so one thing I made, I have this little, you can kind of see it, this little butt.
Yeah.
It's a butt
Cute.
jewelry holder.
Cute, cute.
So that one's fun. We love a little purple butt. I made these little candle holders. These are kind of fun.
Oh, that's nice.
Just these
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
swirly guys. These are just kind of, I don't know. I put cotton swabs in them. I wanted little like kind of bathroom things. So two little guys. I have some other stuff going down there. I have this little watering pot.
Oh, that's
So
cute.
this I really
Yeah.
love. I want to be making more of these, just because I found like one little small area I could improve on in this. But like I said, I really want to make stuff people can like hold and use. And this kind of just forms right to your hand. So I really like that. But yeah, so gonna be like
Awesome.
making a lot of functional stuff. I'll be posting more of it on my website over the next couple months. Um,
So, what advice would you want to give people who are either about to graduate or are in their final year? That's the same thing as about to graduate.
yeah,
Yeah. What advice do you have for them?
it kind of goes along with what I was saying before about figuring out what you want to do. And this is, I don't want to sound like Marie Kondo, because I was going to say like do what brings you joy. That was a big thing for me to think about, not only my senior year when I was struggling with personal stuff, but then even this year with the pandemic. You
Mhm.
know, what makes you happy, what makes you smile, what makes you laugh, what gets your soul going a little bit, and what connects you to people. What do you want to talk about? What brings you joy?
Final question, Erin. Where can people find you?
Where can people find me?
Yeah.
Woo. Okay. My Instagram is can you let some Erin? So my name.
Mhm.
And then my email is erin.doescher@gmail.com. DOESCHER
I'll
is my
pop it
last name.
up. I'll pop it
Oh,
up.
great.
Yeah, you can
Thank
just
you.
say it. Yeah.
And then my website is erindoescher.com. Just started. With that, it's kind of fresh, but it's where you can find me. It's where you can
Yeah.
contact me.
So, Erin, you have about
Um,
2 weeks before this episode goes up. So you have 2 weeks to finish that website.
it's looking pretty good, but I'm getting a little polishing. As you know,
Yeah.
I'm no tech guru. If anyone's really techy, feel free to contact me. I'm always needing help. That's not something that brings me
Yeah.
joy. Not something that brings me joy.
I'm so glad you were my first guest on the show. Thank you for
I'm
being
your
on this.
first.
Yeah, you popped my cherry, all right. This is what happens when you put us
No,
two
thank you.
together. Except
I know
we were very
we were
controlled.
very controlled. We were very good, professional. I'm proud of us. But no,
Yeah.
for real, thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited for this podcast. I think you're gonna do a great job with this, and I'm excited to hear the other artists that you have on, the collection you're gonna make here. It's gonna be good. You're gonna help
Yeah.
people.
Oh,
Thank
shush.
you.
I'm not gonna keep that last part in.
What?
Maybe. I
You
don't know.
are.
Yeah. If you like this podcast and you want to see more, please like, comment, and do all of that jazz. You can find me on Instagram here, arnoldbarretto.com. I'm imagining that I'm going to put it up there. I have no plan yet whatsoever. And my website is down here. And just like Erin, my website is constantly being changed every 5 days.
Mm,
So yeah. But it's updated ish.
updated.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks, Erin, for being on the show. I'll see everyone later. Bye. Okay, last question, Erin. Are you ready for this one?
Hell yeah, baby.
Yeah?
Yeehaw.
Why so many toxic. No, I'm just kidding.
You're about to say men.